Hi, I'm Kevin Attride. Today we're going to be talking about 2022, what happened, and what should you be thinking about for 2023. Let's jump in.
Investing Secrets with Kevin Attride.
Well, a lot happened in 2022, but before we jump in, if I provide any value at all, make sure to hit that like button and please subscribe so you don't miss any of the pro tips to help you to be financially free. All right, what happened in 2022? First is the Russia and Ukraine war. Everyone knows about it. Well, and I feel so terrible. I once had the opportunity to be in the Ukraine and serve people there. And there's so many beautiful people. One of my dear friends is Ukrainian and she's helping her people. And the war is just devastating. And it's also challenged the world financially. Who knew that a war on the other side of the world would impact us so heavily? Commodity prices up, energy prices up. In fact, energy, when you look at the moniker XLE, it's up over 50%. So if you invested in energy in 2022, you're doing well. So 2023, what does it mean for you? Well, perhaps you may want to think about energy, whether you're investing in oil and gas, whether you're investing in energy stocks. That's something for you to consider. But I also find it interesting. People say, oh, well, hopefully the war ends. It's interesting. If you look at it, Vladimir Putin and Zelensky are both members of the World Economic Forum Young Leaders. So they went through the same training program. Interesting. Just think on that. Wars are likely to continue to escalate, and we're going to see conflicts throughout time and very likely in 2023. All right. Inflation. Inflation is soaring. And the experts say we saw the peak in the summer of 2022. Well, when you look at the real inflation rates, as it was measured many years ago in the 1980s, when you look at that measurement, inflation is over 15%. And we may have come off a peak, possibly, but we're going to see inflation continue to soar, and it's affecting everything. And we're also seeing inflation because of all the free money the government gave out and all the rising labor because so many people weren't working. And on the commodity prices, and again, everything is going up. Inflation is affecting us today, and in 2023, it's one of the biggest things you need to be thinking about. Crypto, wild ride in 2022. We saw the year began with Bitcoin at 45,000, and we saw it end around 17,000. So if you sold near the beginning of 2022, you made off like a bandit. If you hung on, you've lost a lot of money. The Terra network, the Terra Luna, the stable coin, well, nearly around $60 billion got wiped out. And FTX, which was once valued at $32 billion, has come almost to nothing. Well, it's worth something, but definitely not $32 billion. And let me ask you, did you lose a lot of money in crypto in 2022? It's interesting. Bitcoin, which was the industry's favorite, everyone seems to be fighting over it. Now no one seems to want to support it, and regulation is coming. But it's interesting, despite all of these market upsets, BlackRock, yes, the Wall Street giant BlackRock, inked major crypto-related deals. So someone's buying behind the scenes. Does that mean that crypto is going to shoot up in price? Or does it mean it's going to be regulated? We don't quite know, but there are deals to be had, and buyers beware. And we saw Elon Musk buying Twitter for $44 billion. Well, he actually had to repeatedly sell Tesla stock to do so. And we have industry experts questioning, is Tesla on autopilot? Well, that may not have affected you much, but it was an interesting ride. Okay, back to more serious. The Federal Reserve, the Fed, kept hiking interest rates. And that means it's more expensive for everything that we do, especially when you're taking out new debt. 7 interest rate hikes, anywhere between 1/4 and 3/4%. And that is impacting everything that we're doing now. And it's also seeing the economy slow down as a further result. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that in 2023. And closely correlated with that is the housing market. House hunters competed for the fewest homes for sale in more than 2 decades early in 2022. And I saw it. Friends who put in offers and houses selling in hours, bidding wars, all of that. And then we saw the average 30-year home loan soared above 7% over 20-year high. And then because of the inflation, because of the Fed raising rates, sales of previous occupied U.S. homes saw their biggest sales slump in more than a decade. 2022 real estate home prices especially were kind of all over the place, highs to lows, but we still saw a lot of appreciation, and not all markets are affected. And there's a lot of money still to be had in real estate, and deals are everywhere. Real estate is a great buy in 2023. Just make sure that you know what you're doing. Make sure you're looking and finding the right deals. All right, bad year for stocks. All 3 major indices suffered the worst year since 2008, and the S&P 500 sank 19.4%. Let that sink in. If you were only invested in the S&P 500 from the beginning of 2022 to the end of 2022, you lost 1/5 of all of your investments. Maybe it comes back. Some friends say, oh, you're buying on sale, but when you buy and it keeps going down and keeps going down, it doesn't feel like it's on sale. So pay attention. I think 2023 is also going to be fairly turbulent. So watch out for more volatility to come. And you would think, okay, the next one is bonds. You would think when stocks slump, bonds are supposed to go up. That's what all the experts seem to say. Well, bonds are really safe because when stocks go down, bonds go up. No, we actually saw bonds. It was a terrible year. The Bloomberg U.S. Aggregate Bond Index was down 13% as of November. The index has only had 4 negative years since 1976. And that doesn't even take into consideration inflation adjustment. So if you are heavily invested in bonds, you are losing big time. And my view for 2023, you should avoid bonds because you're just losing lots of money. Okay, wrapping up here, China, the land of the free. The land of the free? The Chinese Communist Party, they moved away from their zero you-know-what policy, and they became open and a free economy all again because that's what socialism's all about. But interesting, we just recently saw how factory halts production for workers after they're clashing with security officials because of their freedoms. So China, watch out. Let's make sure that we're not becoming like China. Okay, and lastly, the FIFA World Cup 2022. And if you're a soccer fan, this was a big year, especially if you're from Argentina. Well, interesting. FIFA earned record revenues of $7.5 billion leading up to the World Cup. So there's a lot of money to be had for sports. Okay, that's 10 things that happened in 2022. And just to summarize some things you need to be thinking about for 2023, stocks, be very careful. If you're investing in indexes, maybe you're investing for a long time and you're willing to put all your money away for a long period of time. But where are we? Are we near the bottom? Are we mid-range? Is the stock market going to fall apart? Is it going to rocket? I don't know that really anyone knows. And so make sure you're doing your due diligence. And as for bonds, I personally am staying away from bonds. There are great deals to be had with real estate. And make sure that you're locking in debt at the lowest levels you can and make sure you're cash flowing. Always cash flow real estate. As for crypto, maybe great deals are to be had. Maybe regulations are going to come and a lot more money is going to be lost. All I'm going to say is buyer beware, do your own homework. And energy likely is going to be great as well. Make sure you're doing your homework on that. we're going to see inflation going up, or at least holding high. So making sure that your investments are risk adjusted properly, inflation adjusted properly, and tax adjusted properly. That's 2022 and what's coming in 2023. I want you to make sure that you have a solid plan. Don't just pick hot tips. Do your research, make sure you have the best analysis that you can do, and make sure that you are properly equipped to invest in 2023. And there are more investing secrets that are quite powerful for you to build and maximize your wealth. As a matter of fact, I've created a free guide to help you to be more effective in your investing journey. It's called The Top Investing Hacks the exclusive rich are not telling us. And I want you to take action right now by clicking the link in the description below. I want you to have this exclusive access so that you can understand the strategies and the tactics the rich use to maximize and grow their wealth. All right, it's time for you to experience financial freedom.
The information contained in this episode are opinions not to be used as individual guidance. As always, consult your own financial team for your investment decisions.